Please be very aware that there is a real war being consistently waged for the destruction of humanity's soul. The miseducation and illusions of this material world aim to supersede the reality of creation by leading the masses into the spell of self-exaltation and domination in the midst of crumbling systems, inefficient social services, and an ever-widening disparity of steep and impassable valleys for the less fortunate members of every community. Nothing will change unless we change our ways and refresh our perspectives towards a more collective direction. As these great deals follow the sale of one's integrity in exchange for the prize of having something which has zero value, the people find ourselves drawn into a vacuum of emptiness, surrounded by things and distant from human interaction, compassion, kindness, love, empathy, forgiveness and gratitude, which is necessary for the harnessing of the very essence of the human flame. The time is now to be mindful of the decisions we make. To be mindful of the decisions we make. The time has come to be aware of the abyss of the matrix and the portals through which worlds within worlds collide. Or we will continue to seek, with no avail, fleeting solutions for the ever-present problems, despite possessing all of the answers. It is the intention of the powers that be to keep us all in darkness with their bright blue screen lights and their vain imaginations. We cannot unite if we continue to remain divided among ourselves and within the family structures of our respective homes. We can never rise if we do not first know ourselves and honor the precious gift of the breath of life. There is very little a body of people cannot accomplish if they move with the power and purpose of one. It's not too late to change the course, but we must be willing to face the truth. Be willing to face the truth of what we reflect in the mirror of life. And be willing to accept blame as equally as we accept praise. We must not be too ignorant or arrogant to learn what we do not yet know. We must seek love for the benefit and for the salvation of mankind. Be brave. Be courageous. And be strong. Spread love. Show love. Be love. The time is now. Reverence. Ash. Ash. Ash.
D'Original Reverence, welcome.
Give thanks for having me. Alkebulan Empress songs. Give thanks, Empress Aishiba. Give thanks, Empress CC Flavor, for all of your work, for all of your royal contributions, for all of your uplifting messages. Give thanks to Empress Penny Vibes for the opportunity and for providing the platform onto which upcoming artists can be heard on a quality and team platform such as Alkebulan Empress Sounds. Salute to all of the sectors that are part of the Real Vibe Radio family. Trinidad and Tobago, one perfect love. It's an honor to be here.
It's an honor to have you, D'Original Reverence. Love to you and your family, all of the youth, and just it's an honor to have you with us to do this interview, sharing time and space. Sister Isata, love Mama. D'Original Reverence, I had to start off with that track earlier on. But first I want to say, how are you?
Give thanks. We are very happy to be here. We are very honored and grateful to be here in this particular time in time, because the heart and soul of the world is dying, you know. And we have to be the Moses of this time. We have to be the prophets of the time, and we have to stand on righteousness. So we are happy, we feel well, you know, we've overcome once again many of the trials ahead of us, and we are proud to be here and honored. Give thanks.
Yes, you're welcome. You're welcome. So, what about the track that I was playing? How were you able to come up with that, the why, and please tell the viewers.
Give thanks. So we rise early, typically around 3 o'clock, 3:30 a.m. every day. And many times when we rise, you know, I rise with thoughts in my head, words in my head, a song on my heart. And I had someone shared the music for that piece. And I listened to it before I went to rest the night before. While I was resting, the words came. And it was one of those moments in time where, because we are passionate about the message that we present to the world and we take this responsibility very seriously, felt appropriate in that moment to speak from the heart and from the voice.
You don't see it on the table?
And here we are now with this track, able to share some thoughts, bring a message, speak reality, speak the truth, something that we've been a bit shy of in recent times.
And it's important to speak the truth and talk about what's going on, current events, situations that are happening in the world. And just as a reminder, like you said, when we wake up in the morning, sometimes we have certain thoughts that we rise with. And I know in the past, I used to write them down and just meditate on them. And for you to be able to remember those thoughts and create the piece. CC Flavor, when you were listening to the track, what did you tell me?
Just listening to it, just picturing myself in the Garden of Eden. It's so soothing for the mind. It's just like, I tell her like, Shiba, oh my God, that is so beautiful.
Give thanks.
Like, I could listen to that every single morning, man. It just brings a sort of peace.
Well, you know, it's very interesting that you said that, beloved sister Cece, because we all live in an area on the planet where the majority of us rise to the sound of music, which is earth, the birds chirping. You listen carefully, this is what they are saying. This is the message that they are, you know, we wonder, it's just birds chirping, but they're not just birds chirping, they're communicating a message there. And anywhere you are on the planet, it sounds like the same bird, the same rooster crowing in the morning, same sound. So we're just trying to telegraph that message that is the earth through our music, through our words, through our unique presentation and the way we deliver the message.
It sounds as though when you talked about the earth, it's grounded, or you are grounded, right?
Yes, indeed. You know, grounding is we have to begin the day in a place of grounding because, you know, a simple thing as when was the last time the bare sole of your feet touched the earth? Without socks, without sandals, without shoes, you know, and grounding, even if it begins in a place of sitting in your bed or sitting up in your bed and just saying, give thanks to today and, you know, guide me and protect me along my way is a form of grounding.
It
So,
is, it is, it is. The original reverence, I would like you to tell the world what inspired you to get into music? How? Why? Who?
give thanks.
You're
Our,
welcome.
our journey through music is a long one. So, we are a few months shy of our 50th year on this earth. And our musical journey began 47 years ago when I was 3 years old. So,
Wait. You said when you were 2 years old?
three,
Three.
3 years old.
Go on.
So, so I was raised by my grandparents in our beautiful island of Trinidad and Tobago. All who is listening from Trinidad and Tobago, our love, our support, our blissfulness to you. We love you so much, our people. And we were raised by our grandparents. And at the age of 3, I was placed in front of a piano, and from there the journey leads to D'Original Reverence. So, because my mom was the original owner of that piano, which still exists in our home in Trinidad, and she never pursued the journey. She never pursued or completed the journey. It was thrust upon me and her son in the care of her parents to take up the torch. And so we were placed in schools of music in our community, which is Barataria, San Juan, Trinidad and Tobago. And I have to give this moment a special respect and honor to Miss Sylvia Robbins. She's an ancestor now. But that was the person that instilled not just music in us, but a sense of pride, a sense of discipline, um, a sense of resilience, a sense of being able to take criticism and overcome it by being better, you know. Um, and from there, we traveled through the church because our grandparents, again, we grew up in a Roman Catholic faith, and we were part of the choir, junior choir, senior choir. Um, in our school days, we were part of a dance group. So music is something that always followed us to where we are here. But specifically to the original reverence, I had to take a step away from the love of music for 25 plus years because, as you know, we are parents and music doesn't pay the mortgage.
So, 25 years. Within those years, what were you doing? What have you been doing?
Well, the journey starts in Trinidad and Tobago. And in Trinidad, we went through the academic journey, what would be high school, college, university here equivalent. And along that journey, it became a desire for us to want more than the normal, to want more than the average, to aspire towards bigger things. And through our last years of school, we were introduced to a game called chess. I know everyone's familiar with. And that game I always refer to as the blueprint for my life because chess uh, taught us the strategy of how you plan, the strategy of how you see forward, even though you may not be getting as yet, but you have the vision. And it showed us how you are disciplined enough to attain that vision.
Yeah.
Um, and you know, as we went along between those years, we had to feed our family, our ever expanding family. And in Trinidad and Tobago, we were employed in a company that was very similar to a Home Depot, Lowe's in the United States type of platform. Um, and in there, we were exposed to the commercial public. Um, that thrust us into a position where we were in a supervisory position to coordinate the development of high-rise buildings, um, private customer renovations, and so we were able to acquire the skill of observation because in those days I didn't do any work. I was more of like a manager per se, and that gave us the opportunity to travel across the world, not the world, sorry, across the Caribbean. And while we were doing that and gaining experience in developing things like the Tobago Hilton, um, the Bayside Towers in West Moorings, you know, while we were doing those things, a desire just came up to want to do it for myself. I felt like, as Marcus Garvey had said, self-sufficiency, you know, and it's necessary though to acquire the tools. So we were acquiring the tools
First.
first. And we took a leap of faith and came to the United States. And I fast forwarded a little there. And we came to the United States. And when we came to the United States, we started off with literally $118 that was done in 3 days. And it was a very difficult journey. So in one of our songs, Seashells, we talk about the road has been rough and the journey so long. And along that way, you know, we had to rely on our creativity, on our skill of being able to create things. And Dawn Marie, Sister Sata, was the one who suggested to me that I return to that industry that I came from in the Caribbean, in Trinidad, doing renovations, doing commercial upgrades. And so we took on a challenge to create our own business, at the time undocumented in the country. At the time, no one knows you. You don't have a clientele. And we started with on a Father's Day. So salute to all fathers across the world who are listening in advance of tomorrow. Every day is Father's Day because once you're here right now, it's Father's Day. The Father gives us life. So every day is Father's Day. But salute to the fathers and the mothers who play the role of fathers as well. And so many Father's Days ago, Dawn Marie, Sister Sada, bought me a $10 toolbox with 99 cents tools from the corner store. We lived in Brooklyn, New York at the time, Crown Heights area. And she said, "Hey, this is your start, you know." And some of the trades that we didn't know what to do, Dawn Marie suggested that we, since we're avid readers, that we buy those books and we study them and learn the tools, gain the tools. And from there, you know, we fast forward a few years and we create our company called Knickknacks Creative Interiors. Um, which is developed from a $10 toolbox. And along that journey, we were able to employ others. We were able to perform some services and work with some people of every walk of life. A lot of them on the upper tier of what is society considers the upper tier of life. So we were exposed to very high-end um, platforms. And as that journey progressed, it became a bit more difficult because as Alkebulan Empress songs is the fingerprint of Empress Aishiba and CC Flavor, if you were to expand to a third or fourth sister, you will understand very quickly what I mean. So as we expanded this little company, self-run, independent company, and as we expanded and we needed to employ others, it put a strain on the reputation we had built. But along the way, we had many proud moments, many great moments where some of the work we did was acknowledged in some of the highest platforms in the country, such as the New York Times. Our work appeared there twice. That was 2008 and 2009, respectively. Work appeared on the Sweden, another national platform. In 2014, our work won the Paint Job of the Year in New York City within that Sweden. Give thanks. It's in that Sweden platform, and we were one of the top 15 contractors in the city at the time. But you know, music is something that was always there. And anyone that knows me will tell you I was always present at an event, a festival, a show. I always played music. Sister Sata will tell you the wide collection of CDs and stuff I always had. But the desire to pursue music was overshadowed by the need to provide a living and keep a roof over our family's head. So as we moved along in the journey, I saw the need to develop an exit plan from the renovations, which has taken, you asked in the beginning, how was I doing? And the physical toll that renovations has taken on my structure is still something that I don't talk about much, as you know. So I appreciate you asking. And
you're welcome.
Give thanks. And understanding, overstanding the need to have a plan B, an exit plan, to enjoy our later years if we were blessed with them. In that gap between there and now, we thought of developing another entrepreneurial platform. Because, as I said, we grew with our grandparents. And CC Flavor, you know what I mean. You have to have two hands to clap, right? Right, CC? Give thanks. You have to have two hands to So that lesson and of a testimony to our listeners that you must always consider having a plan B or an alternative or a parallel. So we created, through Sister Sata's work with plant-based bath and body products and her nickname Breathless, we had created a second platform called Breathless Raw Life Juice Bar and Cafe, which started on the streets of New York City selling soap and lotions with baby carriages and no tent and just trying to make ends meet. So this is some of the backstory to where we are now. And we fast forward from there and we have 12 years. We moved from New York City to the hills of Pennsylvania for peace and clarity. All of the things that the track that you opened the interview with speak of. And because of the mental health strains that being in the forefront or being in the limelight takes on you, aside from the physical uh, erosion of your body, it was necessary to have a distance and a way to escape that. So we moved to Pennsylvania, in an area that Sister Sata Dawn Marie had grown up in as a child with her elders, her aunt and uncle. And we were familiar a bit because we would visit on weekends such as Juneteenth. It wasn't Juneteenth at the time, but long weekends such as this upcoming one. And I quickly found a love for it because it reminded me of Trinidad and Tobago with the birds and the trees and the nature, just like St. Croix and our beautiful Caribbean islands. So one of the things Dawn Marie had, and actually the only thing she asked me to promise her when we had become married decades ago now, was, I want you to promise me that you will one day take me back to Milford, which is in Pennsylvania. So the opportunity came up and we moved back to Milford. And that, that presented a chance for us to put into motion a brick and mortar presence, which is something every small business wants, every entrepreneur, every person who's creating a product. Royal salute. And we know the journey. Don't give up. Don't be discouraged. Keep doing, keep improving your product, believe in yourself. And we know everyone who does that, everyone who sells on the street, everyone who peddles, their goods and services want the opportunity to own a store. That's, somewhat of a more stable, sustainable way of doing what you love to do. And we were one of those people that always wanted to and never had the means to, and but never lost the desire to, because we had spoken about doing these things 20 years before. We were even able to manifest it. And we moved to Milford. Within our first year, we took on a space with no experience of having a retail type environment, very different than setting up a table on the side of the street. And it was a surprise to Dawn Marie because her dad had passed away suddenly a few months earlier. And in an attempt to make her feel a little bit better, we took on that undertaking. And the funny thing is, we were it was so exciting until the landlord handed over the key and walked away, and you realized that this was now your responsibility legally. And so we had to be creative, and we developed a natural market that offered the community organic goods and services and products that they had not had before. And we were part of establishing what is now the Milford Farmers Market, the original prototype version. We were involved in that. And through Dawn Marie's work with craft fairs, we were doing a lot of things to try to bring people together and bring the awareness. And also while doing that, waving the banner of Rastafari without compromising who we are, without, having to bow to the structure that we were a part of as a business, and still being able to retain our sovereignty and our dignity as Rasta, And towards the end of the 12 years there, Dawn Marie purchased a guitar for me and said, well, you always wanted to play the guitar and you never had a chance to finish. Or I had done some music school in Brooklyn at Kingsbrook College. Those who are from Brooklyn would be familiar with that is for music, but I never had a chance to finish it. So we pick up the guitar and we just start strumming the guitar, and we create this song called We Are the Wi-Fi in our bedroom with Asata, and she suggests, why don't you record the song? I thought she was joking, you know, because at the time, I really honestly wasn't thinking about the original reverence. It was just like going through the motion, playing a song. But we recorded the song. We were invited when we started sharing the song. I know Empress Aishiba, you were one of the first people I had shared that song with, the acoustic version, and said we're considering coming into music. Um, and along that way, we were introduced to people that we would have an expectation of a higher moral standard from in the journey through music, from the guitar to now, where as an artist upcoming, one must be very wary and careful of how you present yourself for help, for assistance, and you have to be aware of at least the fundamental basics. Because for us, our journey began with a lot of runaround. It began with a lot of lack of support. It began with, you know, you're spending money to try to record a song, but you're really not sure of the steps and the process. And along the way, you're misled and you're not able to get to where you want to go. But by the grace and powers of the Most High, and because we try to be kind along our way, we are no way perfect at all. No way am I perfect. Those without sin cast the first stone. I am one of they that can't cast, you know. None of us can. But along the way, we try to walk with a sense of morality. And that, I believe, is what has brought us to where we are now as the Original Reverence, where our music has now been able to cross international boundaries. And um, there's a desire to hear what we have to say, and to listen to the music, not just the words that we have to say, but the music that is attributed to those words. So give thanks.
The Original Reverence, the one word that I could think about what you were saying is perseverance. Perseverance. Um, Despite everything that you have encountered, you continue to move forward, and you continue to know that, as you said before, no one is perfect, but because we are above ground, we continue to move and we continue to do what is necessary to maintain. We do what we need to do for our families by any means necessary. I like how you mentioned Plan B, making sure that we we create something else besides what is, just in the event that something goes in the other direction.
Yes, I. In the event that you need to stand on two legs, because you know one of the reasons why we chose to be an entrepreneur, even though our academic journey was in the direction of law and political science, is because of connecting the dots. And it's necessary to persevere. It's necessary to, because if you don't push through what you feel within yourself, no one's gonna do it for you. You know, and a journey of a million miles, they say, begins with one footstep. You can't walk without placing one foot in front of the other. So perseverance essential, patience essential, tolerance essential, overstanding essential. Because you know, I relate to the mango, which I'm sure is all of our favorite, one of our favorite fruits, the three of us, the mango. But before you can enjoy your favorite mango, it has to go through a process. It didn't just become a mango. It was once a seed that was then a seedling that then was a sprouting plant, and it develops. So again, nature is our teacher, nature guide in regards to how to follow instructions.
True, give thanks.
That's it.
Blessed love, give thanks for the word sound, and give thanks for telling the world about your journey with music and where you are.
Give thanks.
You talked about Wi-Fi, so I just wanted to let them hear a little bit of it.
Give that. Give that.
Salute 718 to Black Faith. I Majesty I, you're great. Sing. Original Reverence. Blessed is the man that walketh not in counsel of the ungodly, nor sitteth in the way of sinners. His delight is in the law of the Most High in the eye. And it is Lord as he meditate day and night. 'Cause we are the one. Rastafari. King Selassie, I pray. Cause we are the
D'Original Reverence, I would like you to talk a little bit about Wi-Fi.
Give thanks, Empress.
You're welcome.
We Are the Wi-Fi is our first officially recorded track as the original record. Our return to music officially in the capacity of an artist, as a songwriter, as a musician. On the original version, we're playing percussions, electric guitar, and this song was recorded in Brooklyn, New York, at the Youth Black Faith Recording Studios, and it was a very unorthodox type approach to reggae music or to conscious music. And because I believe conscious music doesn't have a title or a genre. Because good is good regardless of where you are, you know.
And it's about the message.
And it's about the message. So we recorded this song based on an important principle that we carried with us from our years growing up with our grandparents, as we mentioned earlier in the reasoning, which was community is the core pillar foundation of every society. As you know, in St. Croix, if you live in an area, wherever it is, everybody know you. Everybody know your child. Everybody know your uncle. Everybody, just by the way you walk, Sister CC Flavor. Someone will say, "Oh, you are so and so family," or by the way you stand up. So there's a connectivity that we have as human beings, regardless of our geographic location, our ethnic origin, our spiritual or religious persuasion, our political opinion. There's a commonality that we have, which is the natural respect for life, you know? And that's why there must be balance, like the brethren Ras King Pedro. Give thanks, Ras King Pedro, if you're there, for your incredible interview and for sharing with the world your bilingual message. So give thanks, Ras Pedro. We were listening, you know. But as the brethren had stressed consistently through his time with you and with us, he spoke on the balance, you know, and the need to balance the empress and the king. And it's just like you have along the river of life, there are two different tributaries that merge into one ocean. Again, the example of you can't clap with one hand, you have to have balance. And so Wi-Fi is a signal. If you say Wi-Fi anywhere on this planet, regardless of the language you speak, or you refer to the symbol, you people know what you're talking about. It's like if you show someone Bob Marley, they know. Anywhere you are. True or false? True. So
True.
The Wi-Fi, the bridge that connects the whole universe, the whole earth, the signal. We are that signal, is what I'm saying in the song. All of I and I are the signal. We carry the light, which is the life force, the light energy, the heartbeat, us Rastafari, the one, two, the do good. Hail I, Selassie the first.
First, Empress Men and I.
So we are that light. We are the light unto light. When you rise with the sun and you stand in the midst of the sun rays, you are absorbing a light that you will carry and share with others. And the Wi-Fi, the song refers to that necessary place that all of humanity has no choice but to return to, which is that common respect, that common good morning, that common how are you, that common see, I didn't see Sister B for a few days. Let's go and check on her, you know? Or not because you and someone have a disagreement, then you will be so ignorant that you will see them fall down on the side of the street and walk past them. You know, we have to remember that what affects one of us affects all of us. Everything that affects the regions of the earth as it pertains to climate change, global warming, affects everyone. If you have seen a week ago, the skies of New York City, as written in Revelation, red, the sun red day and night, the things that our elders chant about. We come and live and see it, so we know. So it's important for us to maintain that signal of love, that signal of more love, that signal of more light. And the Wi-Fi is that reminder, because when I thought about how do I bring that message across, even though it's in an unconventional, unorthodox way, because it doesn't sound like everyone says that's not reggae music. What is that? That's not a reggae tune. It's not a reggae tune. It's a message for the listening world that needs it. And I think it's something that if we look at children, for example, that may be of different language backgrounds and different ethnic backgrounds and different cultural backgrounds. But if you live in a place like Empress Aishiba and I have, which is New York City, Brooklyn, or anywhere where there's a metropolitan type environment, on the playground, there's no racial divide among the children, to the point where, Empress Cece, your son, I know you are bilingual, maybe speaking a language to a child who doesn't understand what he's saying. But if you're saying, come on, it's time to go home, it's trouble because he crying and he kicking and you swear he know this boy from a long time and he just met him 20 minutes ago. That's the Wi-Fi. You remember when we were children and you had your friend, similar to the sisterhood that Empress Aishiba and CC Flavor, you so gracefully show the world every week when you come forward. That sisterhood, that's the Wi-Fi. The Wi-Fi is the being your brother and your sister's keeper. That's what Wi-Fi is.
Right, true. Yeah, and as I listening to your music, like your music is so soothing to the ears and the soul. You know, I have not heard something like that in a very long time.
Give thanks.
I'm here still. I'm keeping still, but I'm taking in everything you're saying, and
Give
yeah,
thanks.
that music is powerful and it does something to your soul. I'm actually here thinking like, wow, I'm actually been missing a lot. Like, I'm crying because it's true. You know, we need to have a better connection with one another, also forgiving those who have done you wrong, man.
Yes, I.
Is a growth, is reaching closer to the Most High and what He wants us to do as human beings. Like what I always say, we are spiritual beings having a human experience.
Yes, I.
Right? So, man, give thanks that you put that kind of music out there. 'Cause music, like how I always say, reggae music hits different ways, and what you are bringing to the table is different. It's beautiful. I love it. It's something that I'm hearing my mind saying, you know what? That's what I need to hear when I wake up in the morning. That is what I need to hear before I go to sleep. Because it's doing something to me right now. It's like, it's deep. It's very deep. And I hope that everybody sucks it in. Like, take it in, man. Take heed in. Like, love is a beautiful thing, man. And it comes in many different ways. That's why we have so many different instruments. Each one is different, but they all do the same thing, So give thanks, man. Thanks.
Give thanks, CC Flavor, for sharing your testimony. And this is why we do music. This is why our message to our fellow musicians, brothers and sisters, please realize that the platform you have is so important right now. We don't have no time for no jump up and spread out music. We don't have no time. And someone has to speak up and say, okay, time and place. Give thanks, Empress CC. Give thanks. I feel the love and give thanks. Give thanks for sharing that. So,
Welcome.
yes, I. But yeah, we have to. You see, if there's another Noah occasion and the world flood, it's everybody that's affected. Look at COVID-19. Where was the racial divide? Even though it's still perpetrated during that time, if you are traveling, for example, if you are traveling on an aircraft and you are boarding in terms of social status quo, the privileged ones go on first and they sit in first class, right? Those who are a little more able sit in more comfortable or more seats towards the front of the aircraft. And then the lay ministers of the people like ourselves, we travel somewhere in the third quarter of the plane. Most time I just be sitting down in the back row, cheapest seats, you know. But I'm saying all of that to say that when that aircraft is in the air, it is the balance of everyone's life at hand, in the hands of two people, really. Most times the pilot and a co-pilot. So your life that we value so much is entrusted in the hands of two people. At that moment, they don't think of, well, how many people of color are on the flight? How many people of affluence on the flight? The job is to get the plane from point A to point B. So we are saying that in order for us to move forward from point A to point B, we have to be the Wi-Fi, because without the Wi-Fi, you can't do nothing. I can't talk to you right now. You can't check on Cece. You can't check on your family. And love and salute to Mommy in Tobago, Empress Aishiba's mom. Give thanks. Love and salute to your queen as well, Empress Cece. I know you celebrated. I think it was at Earth Strong or so recently. Give thanks. But until communities across this planet return to a place of, it begins in the home, it begins with mom and dad, it begins within the walls of your home and within the walls of our heart, we're never going to have this one love that we speak of and we sing about, and we are so proud to agitate for Rastafari and one perfect love and unity. Let's just cut it down to what it is. It's not really real in many ways, you know. It's something that's almost become superficial now and rhetorical because we're not practicing what we say. You know, we're not. And if we continue, again, he without, they without stone, without sin cast the first stone. But if we continue to ignore and turn a blind eye to the fact that we are stagnant in the rhetoric, we're stagnant in the bun Babylon, we're stagnant in the yes, we know Babylon have to crumble and underfoot, but as I said with the plan B, you can't just be arrogant, they have to be balanced. So the balance have to start in the home, and then the children that go out into the school structure, instead of fighting and wanting to disrupt the educational process, they will live more in a togetherness like you and I grew up in, because we had the examples before us to keep us within that line. So the grandmothers, the grandparents of our generation, the elders of our generation, that responsibility falls squarely on our shoulders, because the younger ones look up to Empress Cece as Miss Cece, Miss Aishiba. They don't just call you a girl. They have a certain reverence for you based on your sovereignty, your seniorship, your eldership. So until we're able to bring ourselves to that place, it's a fleeting illusion to be pursued and never attained, just like the emperor said. Give thanks.
Rastafari, give thanks, beloved, you know, because we are of a community. And sometimes some of us get lost because of situations. And I think the reminder of us remembering the word respect for your brothers and your sisters, regardless of what, and then you continue to move forward. And like you said, if there's a situation where we need to help I, that's your duty. Because as humans, we are responsible for each other. I like what you said earlier on. You know, if you see that person there, you're not going to just leave them there. As we are of the flesh, do we have different emotions when situations transpire that may cause stress? Absolutely. May we hold That at times, maybe we do, but it doesn't mean that you have to keep it, you know, and you just move forward and you just continue to live life and you just continue to do what you need to for the community because and your family because that is what our responsibility is. And that's what I heard what you were saying. So just give thanks for the reminder. Just give thanks for the word sound for the entire world to hear this is how, yeah, this is how we are supposed to be with one another. There was so much, but community is the focal point that I'm going to take away with the reasoning just now. Community.
Community is a fundamental thing. You go to an event, you go to a show, you go to a dance or a concert with tens of thousands of people, and or you go to an ISIS and you ride ISIS, and within those hours or moments, you're a community. And when the show is done, you want to fight each other. You're back to, we can't continue this way. We're not saying that it's something that we can repair in a night or a week or a year. But as a builder, I am aware, and fellow builders, that when you're erecting a wall, you can use pieces that may be considered not worthy within the erection of a wall, because it's not a brick that makes the wall, it's the collective bricks, it's that
Yeah.
collectiveness that provides that.
Yes, it is. All of us together, we become stronger instead of just one. You mentioned Wi Fi was your first. What was your second?
Give thanks. So our youngest son, his name is Prince Isaiah Judah, or he's known in the music world as Judah Reverence, the Prince of the Mountains. He will be 8 years old in July. We're a few weeks shy of his Earth Strong. And I'm sure he's listening. He's one of my avid supporters. Also one of my managers. And Judah, at the time, Sister Aishiba was about 3 years old, 3.5. And at the shop in the mountains in Pennsylvania, the natural market and health food store platform that we mentioned earlier. One day I was in the juice bar and I had built him a little, actually it was his sisters that are older than him, the two before him. I had built them a little table right where Empress CC, as a parent, when you're doing your thing, if you're cooking soup and you're juggling, you have to have your picnic right here, so right? Where you could see them, even though you're dealing with things, you have to, right? So if it's anything, they're right there within reach. So they all use that table as a place to write and play and color and fall asleep. And so he was there and he said to me, out of nowhere, he said to me, Dad, not as clearly as I'm saying it, but he said, Dad, I've been listening to seashells. And I looked at him and I was like, listening to seashells?
Wow.
Yeah, and I said, like, what kind of seashells? Because right away I started to think of what the song became when he said seashells. And I was, oh, how odd is it that a 3-year-old out of nowhere says I'm listening to seashells? So I said, what are you hearing in the seashells? And he said, hold on, I'm praying for you. And Sister Sada will tell you, immediately I left the juice bar and it was such an emotional, like I write in my posts on social media, I am one of them Rasta man that's cry. We not two man to shed tears of joy, emotion. If your sister going through a pain, you could sit alongside her and cry too. Let's be real. We have to be real. We have to stop this fabrication of this armor of, I am. Yeah, because when you watch the lions that we claim to be in the natural habitat, the lioness and the lioness love up and always together and always within their moment. So we have to see that as an example. And so we went outside and I literally stood still for about maybe 10 or 12 minutes with tears just running down my face. Not crying, but just like, emotional. And I'm thinking about this little man telling me about he listening to seashells while I pray for you. It wasn't as clear as that, but that's what he was saying while I pray for you. And honestly, so there was this creek that's not a creek, it was a circulating water system that fed a duck pond that was part of the grounds where that original shop was. And one of those runoffs that circle come down past where the back of our shop was like a little stream CC, like a little, like a little creek, running water. So I would always go there and meditate, say a prayer, hold a movement right there because the water moves there. And I stood there and the words for seashells just came. And to date, aside from this one of the songs we will feature tonight for the first official time, to date, that's the only song I ever wrote, like actually wrote down lyrics for. Because the lyrics just came right there, it just came. And, I took my phone out and I recorded it on the voice note, the lyrics. And so I had the lyrics written down or recorded, and I needed to create it into a song. And I had all the music in my head. And we went to a different studio, not the one that we started where we did Wi-Fi, still another studio in Brooklyn, someone local within the circle. And we went there for their direction as an elder in the music, for their expertise as an elder in the music. And we went there for their guidance and helping us frame and present seashells to the public in a way that the words we wrote would be meaningful and, expressed the right way musically. And we created a beautiful song. And that song, in collaboration with Wi-Fi, only two I had at the time, like recorded, were the two songs that, as a sister Asada had said, when I questioned and doubted, well, who wants to hear my music? When she said, record Wi-Fi after I played it acoustically in our bedroom. And I said, I'm a contractor. People don't want to hear me sing. They want to see me build stuff, And those two songs were the songs that opened the door for Original Reverence to step on bigger public platforms, which, as we talk about the journey, Empress Aishiba and Empress CC, and give thanks so much for having me here tonight. As we talk about,
It's our pleasure.
give thanks. As we talk about that journey, and how we get to where we are right now, along that way, I won't whistle, but I won't call no name either. Someone in the room was instrumental. Someone in this room was instrumental towards facilitating our entry into the public domain in a proper way, in a meaningful way, in a way that, when I spoke to the individual about even considering when they presented the opportunity and considering accepting it or not and doubting, like, I can't go on that stage and, like, I'm not quite ready yet. This individual insisted that you can and you have a message and you need that message to be shared and it has to be presented in this manner on this platform. So I would like to publicly salute, thank, honor, and express my profound gratitude to Empress Aishiba for being that light, for being that person in the early moments and even to now, those moments of doubt, those moments of, I want people to know the Original Reverence is a real person. We have accomplished a few things that people will consider success, but the job is not finished, and if I had listened to my inner self, this is a message again to the brethren. You see, Empress, there's a saying we grew up hearing that behind every good man is a good woman. You see that? We have to switch that around now.
Side by side.
Rastafari.
Rastafari and Empress Menenai, yes.
Over the balance must be side by side, irregardless of creed, color, class, race. Because love is of what color? Love have no color. Love is a vibration, a language of one, like a smile, you know. Everyone feels love. Whether you don't want to accept it or not, you feel it, you know. And so as we move with that song, Empress Aishiba was the one that introduced us officially. We had done some shows, but it was nothing of the caliber. And the size of the moment was beyond what I thought I was prepared for. But Empress Aishiba, give thanks for your confidence, give thanks for your insistence. So we accepted the opportunity to be a part of the 9th annual Chesapeake Bay Reggae Festival in Virginia Beach, Virginia. And at this moment, I just want to say give thanks to the brethren KP of Lions Bridge for your work preceding the 9th festival that I had the honor to be a part of, for your work that you are still doing within the flowing river that is reggae music. For providing that platform and for embracing me as someone who you had not even heard of before, based on Empress Aishiba's reference and strong recommendation. So give thanks. And, you know, while we were in Virginia, we were able to work with Eternal Fire and Brother Pajoma and Brother Eternal Fire. If I'm forgetting anyone, it's not deliberate. And go ahead, Empress Aishiba.
Just acknowledging Brother Kwame and Yawise, you know, because we all played a part in this. And
yes, sir.
And they were there, and they, you know, we all connected. With the word that you mentioned, we had respect. We had respect, and we have respect, and we will continue to have respect.
Give thanks.
Reverence in the morning. Seashells.
Listening, 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 I've been listening. Listening, listening, listening. Seashells, seashells, listening to seashells. Yes, I pray for you. Seashells, seashells, listening to seashells. Yes, I pray for you. This road has been rough and the journey so long. I'm trying each day, trying to tell the rights from wrong. So I put pen to paper, get my lyrics together. People listen to songs, all the massive sing along. Seashells, seashells, seashells. Yes, I pray for you. Seashells, seashells, seashells. Yes, I pray for you. Jah provides every blessing. His love sees us through. So grateful for your presence. Father, we thank you. Jah, give you the glory. 'Cause every verse is a story. Hold up all the stands and give love a chance. Seashells, seashells, seashells. Yes, I pray for you.
Seashells, seashells, yes, I pray for you. Listening, 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 I've been listening. Listening, 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 listening. Listening, 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 I've been listening. Listening, listening, listening. This road has been rough, and the journey so long. I'm trying each day, trying to tell the rights from wrong. So I put pen to paper, get my lyrics together. People listen to songs, all of myself sing along. Seashells, seashells, seashells. Wow,
Wow, wow.
Wow. Give thanks. That took me way back down the lane there, you know. That was not so long ago, but it wasn't so recent either. That was 2018, which would be what, 5 years ago now?
Yeah, 2018, yeah. I give thanks. I had so much things planned to say, but this is your time. And as I've always shared with you, it's time for the world to know. So I am going to continue to allow you to speak and introduce and just share your journey with the world, because this is your time.
Give thanks, Empress Aishiba.
Rastafari, D'Original Reverence, Sister Isata, and the entire family, all the youths, all of them, love, love,
Give thanks,
all of
always,
them.
give thanks to always honoring the Asata, Dawn Marie. Um, because, you have to be humble in your wrong sometime as a man and know when there's a time and place for everything. And if it had not been for Sister Asata, there would have been no original reference. There would have been no knickknacks creative interiors. There would have been no voice of the mountains. There would have been no breathless. And yes, it may be that one must lead. But as we see again in the example of Empress Wazara Menon and the Emperor Kidamawi Haile Selassie, even when the emperor had to make that very difficult decision to leave Ethiopia and go into exile to preserve the sovereignty of the throne, it was Empress Menen that he had that final conversation with. And as we say in Trinidad, he probably said, Gil, you think I should go? Right? And even though he's surrounded by advisors of the highest caliber, it is his empress that he had that conversation with. And for me, the original reverence, everything I've done that you see, the listeners, the viewers, the supporters, the family, the friends, everything that you see that I've done that you consider a success or you find is inspiring, it has everything to do with my balance, Sister Asata. So give thanks to honor her. Yes, I.
A must, always a must. Sister Isata, love, always.
Yes, I. A true, true, true example of, she's a true, true example of a pure person, you know, a pure person. And there's a lesson I want to share with you all before as we move along in this conversation, this reasoning, that pertains to Sister Asata and her strong example of selflessness. So many years ago, which is decades now, we won't count how many. Before we were parents, we were friends. And as they say, no hanky panky, just friends, respectful, learning. I am from a different place, you are from a different place, our cultures are different. our mutual interest was the love of life. We saw no color. We just saw pure light, you know. And there were some things that she would say that, you know, us men, us brethren tend to have a sense of arrogance sometimes, and we don't want to listen and hear and so on. She would say a lot of things, but one of the things that really stood out with her was when we were beginning to consider having a family, we were already having a family, but we didn't realize it. As we were considering the thought, we were already having a family. It was. And then, like I said, music couldn't support that. So, Asata had said at that time, we don't have much, but the little we have is still something we could share with someone who needs it more than we do. And believe me when I say to you, our viewers from around the world, thank you for supporting Alkebulan Empress song. Thank you for supporting Roots Vibes Radio. I saw in her a lesson in those words. And one day we went to Rockefeller Center, and we didn't have much at all in those days, honestly. We would actually, this is a personal thing I'm going to share with the world right now. But like Empress Sheba said, people have to know, you know.
Give
and
thanks.
give thanks. And why, even despite all of these highs and lows, we have remained humble within our journey. And even more humble as we accomplish more. Because of where we began the journey. And there was a time when, you know, we would have to literally, in that gap between Trinidad and Reverence, when you asked me earlier on what happened there, the 25 years of the music, within that gap, besides being literally homeless, myself, not a SAT at the time, myself, having to struggle through an undocumented phase, having to fall on your face and get back up so many times, we still never lost that will and determination. And even though we didn't have much, we would try to go to places, even if we had to walk. Empress Asata must be laughing right now. Walk very far distances. CC, you know what I'm talking about. Because you can't afford no bus fare. You can't afford. The little you have is maybe to buy a little, right? And we went to Rockefeller Center, sisterins. And your sister, Empress Asata, sees a family. Now we only have $5, literally a $5 bill. That's all we have. And in our name together. And she sees a family with a very young child, single mother, a very young child, and a child that was probably about 2 years old. And she's pregnant. And your sister Nasata took the $5 and gave it to the lady. Well, I vexed because I said, how are you going to do that? But the example there is what I wanted to refer to. And that's selflessness. So give thanks for all the sisters around the world that stand side by side with their kingmen, side by side with their brothers. And you don't have to be a kingman to support them, you know. You don't have to be an empress to support them. If you see a brother or sister of the human race that is out there trying and is out there doing positive things and is out there that needs encouragement, stop for a minute and give them that encouragement, you know. Give thanks.
Give thanks.
You're welcome.
Jaja is the buckler and shield. Jah Almighty is the buckler and shield. The truth will reveal. Yeah. Jah Almighty is the buckler and shield. He opened the 7 seals. Yeah. Jah Almighty opened the 7 seals. The buckler and shield. Yeah. Jah Almighty is the buckler and shield. Sit Sit up in the hills and just a whole of reverence. Chant a psalm a day, moving from strength unto strength. Truth and right to deal between no one of false pretense. Man the sacrament and all higher realms. Trample wicked mind and trample all pestilence. Burn the evil beast and trample on the serpent. And the dirty man who off it tear my garment. Rastafari is magnificent. Jaja is the buckler and shield. Jah Almighty is the buckler and shield. The truth will reveal. Yeah, Jah Almighty is the buckler and shield. He opened the seven seals. Yeah, Jah Almighty open the seven seals. The buckler and shield. To the bloodthirsty, them not get no mercy. When the wicked man cast their lots for eye flesh. Never
Yes, the original reverence, buckler and shield. Why don't you tell the world about this track, please?
Give thanks, Alkebulan Empress songs for sharing that tune, buckler and shield, with the listeners around the world who are tuned in, and those on Facebook and Mixcloud that are watching. Real Vibes Radio, big up yourself every time, you know. Empress Penny Vibes, same way. So in prior pursuant to or following Seashells we did in the world, and while we were doing in the world, within that period of time, another opportunity presents itself. Someone within the music world reaches out to me by an Instagram message, someone who I had been communicating with and supporting their work via an Instagram platform for some time, reached out to us and asked if we would be interested in being part of a album compilation with some of the big names in the music industry. And because at that time, again, going forward to Empress Aishiba's question in the beginning, Empress Aishiba, where you asked how I was doing, how I was feeling. That period of time was very difficult personally for me because I was enduring one of the most physical challenges I've ever had to endure within my physical structure, my body. Mentally sound, but physically challenged, you know. I wasn't able to walk for a period of time. These are things like Empress Aishiba said the world must know. And it's time now that they know some of these details that I've never shared. This is the first time I'm sharing these things publicly. And a scary time for our family, a very scary time for Empress Asata, Sister Asata. Very troubling, concerning time for myself because, and Aishiba, you would know, you and I were communicating during that period of time. The difficulty of someone like myself who was always on the move, always busy, always on the go, to have to stop and not be able to walk and not be able to stand up very long and watch your body transform itself into a swollen state. And then you think of, what about the well-being of my family? If this continues, how long is this going to continue? But within that time, the opportunity presented itself. And initially, I said, no, I'm not in any position to do any music. I didn't have the desire. I wasn't inspired. I was just trying to figure out, how do I get myself back to being able to walk and be myself, you know, or a version of myself. I knew I would never be the same, but at least an acceptable enough version of myself. And they said, well, you know, you might want to really consider it, Reverence, because there are some big names on this album. And I said, well, if you're willing to share the names with me, I'll give you my answer now. So that album was a compilation album for Stella Green Farms in California. And the main voices on the album, the main um, artists on the album were the like of Luton Fire, Pressure Bus Pipe, Royal Blue, um, Ronkus, and D'Original Reverence. So I was the last one that was included, because the person that connected me to the opportunity was awaiting my response in order to say yes or no. So I was the last one that was included. Um, so the album, the intention of that album, there's a beautiful video by Brother Luton Fire on the global platforms with his track. But the intention of that album was to promote the Stella Green Farm, which was a new business platform, or a business platform that existed but was expanding its wings, itself. And so when we listened to the songs, the little bits and pieces that we had heard snippets of, because our duty and our primary responsibility as the Original Reverence is to spread a positive message, to not exalt ourselves in front of the people or in front of our Creator at any point in time. The lyrics that came from my heart for that song were more in terms of using the rhythm to speak about strength and meditation, sit up in the hills and just hold a reverence, chanting a psalm a day, moving from strength unto strength. So I'm recording this song in Brooklyn, New York, in the same studio that we recorded the first version of Seashells in. And I'm building the song, and as I was going along the recording process, which was 2 visits, I'm surrounded by the grandchildren of the producer, the person that owns the studio. For the sake of privacy, I wouldn't mention any names. And at least 5 or 6, if I remember. 1 girl and 4 or 5 boys. And the girl was the one marshalling the boys. She was the leader of the pack, And they just picked up the lyrics instantly. I mean, they came down the stairs into the basement studio singing the lyrics. And I was like, what? And they surrounded me throughout. When I record music, as Aishiba will tell you, I'm a very meticulous person, so I put a lot of time into what I'm doing because it has to be a certain way. So it was many hours. Mind you, my feet are swollen. I can't really stand very long. My spine feels like it's being crushed. And I have to get the song recorded because the opportunity for me was a huge one. It was a chance to be on an album or on a project with people that I looked up to, that I listened to, Pressure Bus Pipe, Luton Fire, I followed their career and so. And we wrote a song called Buckler and Shield because at the time, it was an opportunity for me to express what I needed to say from what I was feeling, and the hurt and the doubt and the struggle and the pain and the uncertainty. So Buckler and Shield, as the lyrics sing, it was about woe to the backbiters. Because for me, there were many along this journey, woe to the down pressers, woe to those who seek, they cast lots on my flesh. Because as I was saying earlier, if we speak of one love, we have to mean it. We can't just, Vaughn Benjamin, the Honorable Vaughn Benjamin, who we love so much, as that song said, where don't you say the word love, right? Because it's not something you say in vain. So we have to be careful of how we say we love each other and how we express that love for each other. So we wrote a song based on our love for Haile Selassie the First. We didn't write a song that was in the direction of the sacrament, even though we spoke of the sacrament in the song. Sit up in the hills and just a whole reverence, burn the sacrament, moving from strength unto strength. Truths and rights we deal with, we don't want no false pretense. And we felt like that was what we wanted to contribute, and that would express how we were feeling at the time, and how we were able to cope with what we were going through at the time, that struggle we were going through. And the song was released as a 420 track, and to our dismay, when the songs were released on release day, and promoted on release day, Buckler and Shield was not included in the promotion. Again, for the sake of libel, for the sake of copyright infringement, I will not call any names. But Buckler and Shield, which is written by D'Original Reverence, was not included in the same level of promotion, which kind of brings me forward to something Ras King Pedro said. As I said, I listened to the majority of his interview. Serious brethren, And he talked about, if it's not a Jamaican thing with Vaughn, that needs to stop. Because, like the reference to the playground, when this music hit the soul, it don't matter who's singing it. It's what the message is. It's how does it translate to the being that is absorbing the vibration of your voice and of the rhythm and of the notes. True, Sister Cece? It's
so
not
correct. You are so correct.
Give thanks. It's not about... We all are aware of the root and origin of civilization. Mama Africa, this is undisputed without apology. Science and astrophysicists and so have proven that. There's no doubt, there's no question. And we all know the root of the music comes from our beloved continent, Africa. But the ownership of the music the copyright of the ownership of reggae music doesn't really belong to any particular one. Because music is how we need to treat our partners in our relationship. It's an entity that you are a part of, but you don't own it. You don't own your empress. Yeah, that might be a woman, and it's, you have children, or you're dealing with each other for umpteen years, but you don't own the person. The woman doesn't own the man. You share time and space, and So the song, for us, on a positive note, and in this moment, I want to salute the brethren, one of the most powerful song system out of the Caribbean and out of Trinidad and Tobago, the brethren Ja Blood International song. Because that was the person, aside from our beloved Empress Sheba, who really pushed that song, and Ja Blood on his programs Wednesday and Sunday and Friday. We even did an interview on his platform. I didn't know Ja Blood. It was the community at work. It was someone, seeing and hearing a good positive message and wanting to share it with as many people as they could. So give thanks Ja Blood for doing that. Give thanks Black Chariot, my brethren Gage. We grew up together as children in Barataria, and we still stay in touch, and he's been waving the banner for Foundation Music for a number of years. So big up Black Chariot International. And Zion Rose, who is also part of the Black Chariot platform, big up yourself, same way. So that's the story with Buckler and Shield, and it's one of the most requested songs. It's one of the songs. We have a sister she may not be tuned in here, and if I pronounce your name incorrectly, please forgive me. But Modipe, I think it's how it's pronounced, and we met her through the brethren King Milo All-Purpose song in Brooklyn, and she resides in Hawaii, and she shared with us the way that song really inspires her daily routine. So give thanks for asking about Buckler and Shield.
You're welcome. I'll let them hear a little bit more.
Jaja is the Buckler and Shield. Jah Almighty is the Buckler and Shield. The truth will reveal. Yeah, Jah Almighty is the Buckler and Shield. He opened the seven seals. Yeah. Sit up in the hills and just a whole of reverence. Chant a psalm a day, moving from strength unto strength. Truth and righteousness, no one of false pretense. Man the sacrament and all IRMs. Trample wicked man and trample all pestilence. Burn the evil beast and trample on the serpent. And the dirty man who off it in my garment. Rastafari is magnificent. Jaja is the buckler and shield. Jah Almighty is the buckler and shield. The truth will reveal. Yeah, Jah Almighty is the buckler and shield.
We must seek love for the benefit and for the salvation of mankind. One culture, original reverence, melodious, ash.
Wicked need love.
We must seek love for the benefit and for the salvation of mankind. One culture, original reverence, melodious, ash.
And set the whole world to flirting. Oh, what a shame, what a shame. They think they have the most control, or so they do claim. Good thing that we are not all asleep. With love in our hearts, our blood runs deep. Hate and greed is the best thing they know, because their hearts are cold as snow. Wicked in our love. Wicked need love. Wicked in our love. Wicked need love.
More love, show love, be love. Spread a little more love, give love, and be love. Why is the wicked heart so cold? Consumed by grudge, hatred rules their soul. It's time to give love a try. It starts with you and I. This you can't deny. Why is the wicked heart so cold? Consumed by grudge, hatred rules their soul. It's time to give love a try. This you can't deny. Love never dies.
The wicked in our love. Wicked need love. Wicked in our love. The wicked need love.
D'Original Reverence, I would like you to talk about this track, Wicked Need Love. Who's responsible? Who are others who collaborated with you? Please.
Give thanks for playing that song, that track. Wicked Need Love is a very special story also in this journey. So we work with our brother Kurt Johnson of Third Island Productions, One Culture, the band, based out in Virginia Beach, Virginia. And alongside our brother Kurt, we've done a number of songs, including Wicked Need Love. And One Culture, Kurt is the front man. He's the heart and soul. It's Kurt Johnson, Chris Shaw, big up yourself, and Connor Bass. If I'm forgetting anyone, forgive me again. But One Culture was in the process of releasing their sophomore album entitled Forward Always last November 2022. And the album has 16 tracks. And it's a very special album because on that song, there's some very personal testimonies that one culture wrote into song. But towards the end of again, because of commitments and other commitments in our life, aside from the original reverence, we're unable at times to really invest the amount of time and energy that we would love to invest in music. So sometimes the world will see reverence. Like right now, you will see a lot of me, and you'll hear a lot about what we're doing in the next few months because we're campaigning on promoting new music, 1 track a month from here until 2024. And one culture is a fundamental part of that. So Kurt invited me to be a part of the album if I had the time, was his words, with respect to our schedule aside from music. And again, I was like, I don't know, I would like to, I'll get back to you. And as you know, Empress Aishiba, sometimes it takes me a while to get back to you. But eventually I will. And, you know, Kurt insisted and said, Reverence, we cannot complete this album without you on it. Which was a huge honor, you know, to be part not just of a project with him, but to be part of such an important piece of his journey, his respective journey in music, his sophomore album. And the way he asked me about it, the way he insisted, it was really from a passionate place. And I just felt the honor and the respect and the reverence that he had for what we could contribute. He didn't ask me what I think I could write to the music or anything. He presented the music, and I had it for months, actually. And our Princess Lalibela will tell you at times, dropping her to school in the morning, I'd be playing the music, the rhythm, the instrumental, all live instruments. And I would look at her, and that's my manager too. And I would look at her, she's 14, Princess Lalibela. Love and respect, mama. And she said, Pops, for the bed grain thing, you know, so it's Pops now. So Pops, we're going and sing to that song, Rasta Man. And I was like, honestly, girl, I have no idea. Because I didn't really put my mind to the music. I was playing it and I was like, I don't know. But that last conversation with Kurt Johnson, my brother, and I have to salute his mom, Mama D, for taking good care of me when I'm in Virginia at their place, at their home, and for always accommodating my presence and my family's presence. Thank you. Kurt, the way Kurt said it to me that night, I really felt it come from the heart, and I had to accept the invitation. And it was a very short window. He was like, Reverence, if we're going to do this, we have to do this within this time frame. We have to get it done. And I didn't have the opportunity, unlike some of the other, or all of the other recordings that we've done to date, to be in his presence, in his studio, where I rather be when I'm recording music. I like to be hands-on in the actual element. So we had to do this remotely from my home studio while he was in the studio in Virginia. And in one night, we went over the music. You know, the lyrics came from the heart, like all of my songs. You know, I didn't write anything down. I had a bit of an idea of what I wanted to do. And as we were going along over that night, put together this beautiful song. And I was really honored that Kurt loved what we had created. And everyone that heard it loved it. So alongside Kurt, we have Melodose, Man Like Mellow. So Melodose is another artist within our family, our collaboration, of working with people from all different genres and all different backgrounds and for the love of music. You don't have to be Rasta, you know, to have the message that the world needs to hear. And Melodose is also part of this song, you know, Wicked Need Love, contributing music and arrangement to the song. And that song is available on the album, which I have right here. So the album is called Forward Always. I don't know if you could see it. Forward Always. And it's by One Culture, Forward Always. And it's available on all digital platforms. I encourage you to go on any streaming platform and listen to the album. Not just my track that I'm part of, but all 16 songs. And to the back, these are the songs, and we're track number 9. We Can Need Love. Empress Aishiba, this is actually your album that I've promised you since December last year. So this is
Since when?
December. So,
Give thanks.
and Empress CC, we didn't leave you out either. So you'll have one also. On behalf of One Culture, Forward Always, we would like to send these forward for you all as a respect and a thank you for all the work you have done for reggae music and what you're doing for our music.
And you see how I never seen that before. Like how I said in the beginning, when I first heard that first song that played, the first thing that came to my mind was the Garden of Eden.
Yep.
Without even seeing that. So just to show you your music itself speaks for itself.
Give thanks. We're happy part of this, you know. Our humble contribution is our song. The artwork and stuff we can't be credited for. That's Kurt's connections. I think it was an overseas project. This was done and created internationally. But it's a beautiful album. It's a great piece of music. It's a timeless piece of music. So please go and visit the album. One Culture, Forward Always, available on all networks. Or you can get your hard copy from D'Original Reverence or Breathless Raw Life Juice Bar or Dawn Marie, or from Third Island Productions themselves. Give thanks.
Beautiful, nice, thanks.
Up the arms and arms and arms, resist them. Up the arms and arms and arms, resist them, resist them, resist them. Lace up the Gideon boot, Rastaman, resist, come along, arms and arms and arms, resist, control is the mass agenda. Vaccination for rearrange the microbiological structure of man. Alternation, population control is the agenda. Dark over light is what them rather. Resist them. Come along, arms and arms and arms, resist. Let's have the Gideon moves right now, resist. Resist them. Don't you see how the priest in it wrong and alter it upon them altar? Hold from brother man, hold from sister, and to hold from in the Gideon, don't you ever falter. It's a love and honor to be in the presence of the mighty One Culture and resist them. them. Come along, arms in arms and arms, resist. Trot along, Rasta man, resist.
D'Original Reverence.
Yes, Empress.
Well, as always, resist them. How did you come up with this? Who did you work with this on? Please tell the world about everything surrounding this particular track.
So, you know, the world, we talked earlier about the COVID-19 lockdown, the pandemic that was imposed across the world. And during that period of darkness, there was a need for light to shine. During that period of darkness, there was a need for light to shine through. There was a need for hope to be something that everyone felt was possible again. You know, there was a need for direction. There was a need to push back because a lot of what we had known and had taken for granted was stripped away from us. Simple things like hugging someone. Simple things like going to visit an elderly member of your family that lives abroad because they need your presence and you can't cross any international boundaries. Certain things like you can only buy one roll of toilet paper per family and so. Things that we spoke about before we entered music. Brothers and sisters like Empress Sheba and myself spoke about over the years where there will come a time when the basic privileges that we had would be no longer there. We used to joke, Aishiba, and say, there'll come a time you can't run down by the corner store and buy a malt because there won't be no corner store service to get. And we saw that happen. Even our means of travel, we were literally forced to quarantine ourselves, virus or not, within our own space, which had its silver lining because that was a period for the world to heal. You know, that was a period that was necessary because in everything there's polarity, good and bad, up and down, left and right, man and woman. And there was a need for the world to heal because the fear that took over the heart of mankind was creating a divide as well as an uncertainty of what is going to happen next. Because every few weeks, every few days, every few months, we've got news of a new sanction, a new lockdown, a new thing implemented. Now you could only be outside for 4 hours. Now you could only, right? If you don't take the vaccine, you lose the job that you served in for 40 years. So many people were forced into taking a vaccination that, for want of libel, was to be proven to work. You know, for the sake of not infringing on anything. It was yet to be proven to work, but it was forced upon societies around the world. And coming out of that darkness and being a part of that frequency and one of those people who too was feeling those emotions like, you know, this is not what's happening with our world, and when are we ever gonna return to normal, and you don't even know what people look like anymore because you always have a mask on, and the health detriment of like breathing in your own carbon monoxide and all those things. Just in order to provide food for yourself and your family, you were forced to do that. And we were in Virginia recording our only video to date, our only complete music video to date. Again, a collaboration with Kurt Jonathan, One Culture, Third Island Productions, Virginia. We were recording the We Are the Wi-Fi dub video. Those of you who have seen it and supported it, it's up to almost 8,000 views on YouTube. Thank you for your viewership and your support. And your comments, many comments complimenting the music. And see, that's the music video to the song you like, the first song, the Wi-Fi that we were talking about.
Okay.
And that day, you know, it was a long day with my brethren Kurt Johnson. And that day we did the video. We did an interview on Game Changers with Brother Fabian Lyons, which is an internet platform. And we also had a dinner event where we broke bread with members of the band and those things. And towards the end of the night, it was around 11 o'clock. Kurt, you know, we went into the studio, and we have this tradition where we go into the studio and we listen to rhythms and music that's being built for future projects, and we just sort of like go with the energy of what we feel. And Kurt had been sharing this music with me for some time, so I had asked him to. He said, "Reverence, you want to touch this song?" And we pulled up the music, and literally in one take, I did resist them. I didn't write it down. You know, it was one of those, again, another moment in this musical journey where the inspiration of the Most High just guided my words and my lyrics, you know, to speak about what was happening in a truthful way and in a way that, you know, may risk censorship at times, but the truth has to be told, you know. And there we have Resist Them, a strong song that speaks about resistance and being arms in arms against oppression and the systems that hold us down and oppress us as a people, wherever you are on the planet.
Give thanks for sharing that.
Give thanks.
For all the viewers, you know, we are kind of winding down.
Blessed is the man
Jah will be there.
that walketh not in the counsel of the ungodly, nor standeth in the way of sinners now, nor sitteth in the seat of the scornful. 'Cause Jah will be there to see us through now. Yes, Jah will be there in everything I do. Walking on the earth, standing firm, standing tall. The righteous one will stand, the wicked bound to fall.
D'Original Reverence, just want to say give thanks. I told you this was all about you, and I just wanted everyone to hear.
Blessed is the man that walketh not in the counsel of the ungodly, nor standeth in the way of sinners now, nor sitteth in the seat
Of the scornful, 'cause Jah will be there to see us through now. Yes, Jah will be there in everything I do. Walking on the earth, standing firm, standing tall. The righteous man will stand, the wicked bound to fall. Giving love, receiving love until my heart is full. The blessings of the Most High Jah is truly bountiful, and yes, I know that Jah will be there. And in the shadow of the valley of darkness, we will have no fear now. 'Cause Jah will be there to see us through now. Yes, Jah will be there
in everything I do. In the last days, backbiters and haters of Jah, despiteful, proud, and prudent, the last days. Boasters, inventors of evil things, they are without understanding, the last days. We will never ever go astray, because we are just students, the last days. So these are the last days, and Jah will be there to see I and I through now. Yes, Jah will be there in everything we do. Give thanks, Alkebulan Empress songs. Give thanks, Empress Aishiba. Give thanks, Empress CC Flavor. Give thanks for the listeners. Give thanks for my family. Give thanks for everyone that is part of this journey, everyone that has played a part of making the original reverence who we are, supporting us along our way, scolding us when we need to be scolded, encouraging us when we need to be encouraged. And I just want to say a special thank you to Tony Maestro Brand of Cultivated Mind, to Vince Lee for inviting us to be a part of Reggae on the Bay July 15th in Virginia Beach, a charitable concert that will feature One Culture, The Original Reverence, Tony Maestro Brand, so many of Virginia's favorite artists. That day it's a festival on the beach, and it's in benefit of St. Jude's Children's Cancer Research Hospital. So this is a benefit charitable event. That's going to be our next presence on stage as The Original Reverence. Thank you, Alkebulan Empress Song, for sharing our music and featuring this brand new track, Jah Will Be There, which releases on June 23rd. So this coming strong, we'll be campaigning a lot and sharing a lot of posts, exciting information leading up to the date. And I just want to also announce for Breathless Raw Life Juice Bar, thank you for everything you do for the community of Port Jervis and the wider community. And we have a very special announcement that I promised a sister that is dear to us. I would share with the world. So Empress Jirma with Waleti Selassie and my brethren Ras Aili Culture, I would like to announce that in the coming weeks we will be bringing this line, which is the Trinity, made in Shashamani, Ethiopia, straight out of the land of Ethiopia, made by this sister. We'll be bringing her product. This is the #1 selling tea, the Trinity brand. This is the Misty Morning Tea. So the Trinity brand has moringa, alfalfa, and mint. The Misty Morning, stinging nettle, lemongrass, and ginger. They're all loose leaf teas made and packaged in Ethiopia. And the Mellow Mood tea, which is chamomile, moringa, and fennel. So these 3 teas, drinking teas, as well as topical ones, the foot soap, the hair incense, so will be here shortly at Breathless. Available for worldwide shipping. We'll be sending forward a few samples for the sisters here at Alkebulan Empress Songs. So give thanks. And last but not least, the Global Rastafari Heart that we are part of. This is a collaboration that honors Rastafari artists from all around the world. We are one of the artists that is here. It's from the Fairfield House in Bath, the former residence of the Imperial Majesty Emperor Haile Selassie I. So you can find us on Rastafari Hearts on Instagram. And you can find our music on The Original Reverence at Instagram, Facebook, and all digital platforms. It was a great honor to be here. I look forward to continuing this conversation with you and all of your listeners in the future.
So give thanks, enough respect. You have opened my mind to something different. You have unlocked a different vibration with that first song that Aishiba played. So enough respect and manners to you and Empress Aisata and your family. May Jah guide you, protect you, and always bless you for the rest of your life. You know, give thanks, man. This is, wow. So thank you. This have done something to me that I needed. especially with our Wi-Fi, with our first song. That just opened something that was locked in my mind, in my soul, to be a better person. So give thanks and enough respect, love, and light always.
Thank you, MCC. That means a lot to me, and I'm honored to have been able to connect with you through the Wi-Fi, which is our mutual heartbeat of love to each other across this platform. And thank you for everyone who has supported the music. And just thank you for being lovers of positive music, for torch bearers, for doing what you all are doing. Don't give up. Keep going. Anything we can do on our end to support and promote you, we always will. And Empress CC, I really hope one of the things I would like to accomplish along this journey is to one day come at Serenity's Nest and perform live in St. Croix and play and share some of these songs with you and in person, you and the beautiful people of St. Croix. So we have to somehow make this happen.
It's much needed, not just only in St. Croix, but all around the world. And it's needed because I feel different. I feel different. It's a different vibe. It's a different tone, you know?
You know how we always talk about healing?
Yeah.
Today's interview with both King Ras Pedro and D'Original Reverence, some more healing took place, and the world has benefited from it. Everyone who has been logged on to www.realvibes.org, Facebook page, Aishiba, and then the Mixcloud page, Real Vibes Radio. I know every household, everyone who has it locked, has received the same healing that we have received, even D'Original Reverence. So I'm not going to say much because then you're going to really hear me crying on here, and I've been holding back tremendously. D'Original Reverence, give thanks.
Yes.
Give thanks, Queen. Give thanks for having me. Give thanks for me being my sisters along the way, high tide and low tide. And just know that, what we do now is not for us, it's for the coming generation. The music we record now is our testimony that would be like the words of the Bible. These are the words that the children who are yet to be born will look to and will need to heal them in that time. Yeah. And thank you for helping heal me and my family with your love as well.
Yeah, all of us, all of I and I are one. And that's the focal point, always moving forward. We are one.
One culture say.
Yes, I. So I'm going to finish out with Jah will be there. And once again, everyone who continues to support Real Vibes Radio, Penny Vibes, Ras Randy, Reganair with Niga Sound, those brothers were the ones who also are responsible for I and I even having this platform. So
enough respect, Ras Randy, Niga Sound, Ilawi, legendary brother Ilawi. We give thanks for your work and your love and support. Roast breadfruit wherever you're there. Big respect, same way.
Yeah, I mean, so many King Milo, so many
Milo.
Yeah. Singers.
Is same way.
Everyone. And sometimes we say too much name to call. So yeah, I connect with so many people, and I just want to say I love you sincerely and authentically. As Rastafari is I and I leader, the mission, it's the order, it's one perfect love, two perfect love, three perfect love, four perfect love, That is what we represent. So when you see this, there isn't anything else that's going to be forwarding with this. This is it. It's just authentic and natural love. And we extend ourselves when we come on here every Saturday. As you mentioned, you see the sisterly vibe, because this is what it is supposed to be, And you said so much today, D'Original Reverence. Just give thanks.
Yeah, man.
Yeah. Sister Aisata, Lali, Lizzie, Judah, love you. Yeah.
Please go out there. What song is going to be coming for? We're going to make it the public announcement a second time here tonight on the show. So June 23rd, Friday, June 23rd, the official release of Jah will be there on all the platforms.
Yes.
Please share it, spread it. We want this to really carry our message and bring us across the world stage.
That is true. So give thanks for the eye time. I'm going to run it, and you have a pleasant night and rest well. Everyone, love and
Give
light.
thanks. Flavor, love and light. You don't know, as you say, you don't know.
You don't know the original reverence. Don't know.
Yeah, man. Love, love, love.
Blessed is the man that walketh not in the counsel of the ungodly, nor standeth in the way of sinners now, nor sitteth in the seat of the scornful. 'Cause Jah will be there to see us through now. Yes, Jah will be there in everything I do. Walking on the earth, standing firm, standing tall. The righteous one will stand, the wicked bound to fall. Giving love, receiving love until my heart is full. Blessed is the man that walketh not in the counsel of the ungodly, nor standeth in the way of sinners now, nor sitteth in the seat of the scornful. 'Cause Jah will be there to see us through now. Yes, Jah will be there in everything I do. Walking on the earth, standing firm, standing tall. The righteous one will stand, the wicked bound to fall. Giving love, receiving love until my heart is full. The blessings of the Most High Jah is truly bountiful. Oh yes, I know that Jah will be there. And in the shadow of the valley of darkness, I will have no fear now. 'Cause Jah will be there to see us through now. Yes, Jah will be there in everything I do. In the last days, backbiters and haters of Jah, this spiteful, proud and prudent. The last days, boasters, inventors of evil things, they are without understanding. The last days, we will never be led astray, because we are just students. The last days, say these are the last days. 'Cause Jah will be there to see us through now. Yes, Jah will be there in everything I do.
Royal greetings, this is the original Reverence sending a royal salute to the magnificent Alkebulan Empress songs featuring Empress I and Empress CC Flavor, playing the toughest selections of roots and culture, strictly foundation out of the beautiful island of St. Croix, US Virgin Islands. Large up yourself every time. Blessed is the man that walketh not. Alkebulan Empress songs, you are the toughest, 'cause Jah will be there to see us through now. Love and respect. Love and respect.
All the time.
This one is give thanks to Kurt from Third Island Production for his work on this song, composing the instrumentals, recording drums and bass and guitar and piano, and the work alongside the brethren John Kwan of Buddha Council, who recorded organ and organ melody on the song. You know, Kurt, give thanks. John Kwan, give thanks. Jah will be there to the entire world. Give thanks. Alkebulan Empress songs.
Once again, family, give thanks for sharing time and space with Alkebulan Empress Sounds.
In the council of the ungodly, no standeth in the way of sinners now, no sitteth in the seat of the scornful, 'cause Jah will be there to see us through now. Yes, Jah will be there in everything I do. Yes, I walk with the Most High Jah Rastafari. May He guide and keep you along your way. May He protect and shine a light on your footsteps, and you're going in and you're coming out, and you're going forward and you're coming in. May He also keep your hearts in union with your brother and your sister. May He keep your heart in union with your husband and your wife within the household. May there be an end to domestic violence and physical abuse, mental health abuse. May be an end to racism. Go down, Babylon, go down. Let us uplift love once again. Let us make love full once again. Let us make our love and respect for each other be the thing that we repatriate towards once again. Love and light, respect to radio.
Real Vibes Radio.
Thanks. Real Vibes Radio. Real Vibes Radio in the UK. Alkebulan Empress songs and all the selectors that play on that station. Brother King Milo, love and salute, respect every time. Micronamande and Legado, Africano songs, Argentina, Colombia, respectfully, big respect. Roots Village, Ghana, Brother Kwame Wise, you already know, one perfect love. Last words to the people, we are the Wi-Fi, love and light.
Love and light. People, make sure you continue to support Real Vibes Radio. Monday, Darn Carlos. Tuesdays, Ras Randy with Nika Sound. Wednesdays, Platinum Tipper. Thursdays, Ras Nick. Friday, Reggae with Nika Sound. Saturdays, Highly Man Sound. And yours truly, Alkebulan Empress Sounds with my beautiful sister, CC Flavor, Empress Aishiba. And then on Sunday, we have DJ Digo and Dookie the Endorser. www.realvibe.org. Everyone on there, give thanks. On Facebook, Ashiba Carranza, everyone on there, gratitude. And our Mixcloud page, Real Vibes Radio, love you. Signing out, Rastafari, love and light to each and every household. Give thanks, give thanks. King Ras Pedro, D'Original Reverence, love.
Love and
Penny Vibes, love.